Now, later today, the Prime Minister will sit down with the President of the European Commission to finalise a deal over the Northern Ireland Protocol.
Number 10 says Rishi Sunak and Ursula von der Leyen will hold talks to find a practical solution to post-Brexit trading.
Well, joining us now in the studio is the Shadow Financial Secretary to the Treasury, James Murray. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Look, it's a big day, significant day, and it looks as though a deal has been done with the European Union. We know that Labour is going to vote for it, even if they haven't seen the terms or the details of it. Just explain to our viewers why that is the case, even if the DUP, for example, weren't satisfied.
Well, what we said is that if there is a deal which is in the national interest, then we will give the Prime Minister what support he needs to get that through Parliament if it comes to Parliament for a vote. Because, you know, look, Keir Starmer's been saying for months now that if there's a deal on the table, if there's a deal to be done, the Prime Minister needs to get on and do it. And he needs to put the country ahead of his party and make sure that we have the end to the uncertainty which has been plaguing people and businesses in Northern Ireland for so long.
So national interest has to come first. What about the interests of Northern Ireland? I mean, if the DUP aren't satisfied, power sharing can't be returned to Stormont, and that's a disaster for the people of Northern Ireland. Their services aren't functioning.
There needs to be a deal which is in the national interest of the UK and in the interest of the people of Northern Ireland. And, you know, the DUP have set their own tests for looking at a deal, and I'm sure they will look at it. And I very much hope that a deal will go some way towards meeting the concerns that they have. But we set out what our test is, and our test is if it's in the national interest, then we will support the Prime Minister because country has to come first.
So do you think the Prime Minister would be right to press ahead then with this deal, even if those 7 tests of the DUP are not met? Just to clarify.
Well, I think those 7 tests are for the DUP. You know, I think it's important that the government listens to the DUP because I think a lot of these problems have arisen because the government hasn't listened to the DUP. I think that listening needs to take place. Those 7 tests are the DUP's tests. As I said, our test is whether this is in the national interest. And if it is, then we will support the Prime Minister to get this through Parliament if it comes there for a vote.
James, let's talk about national wealth or income generation. Keir Starmer is issuing a warning. It's a stark warning. He's saying, elect the Conservatives again, and that will leave families in Britain worse off than Eastern European counterparts. Something that was, well, always unthinkable, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. It's a really stark warning. The trajectory that our economy is on shows that by 2030 we will be poorer per head than Poland. By 2040 we'll be poorer per head than Hungary and Romania. You know, this shows that we're on the wrong path, the wrong trajectory, and we have so much potential as a country. We need to get our economy growing again, and that's why what Keir is setting out today, along with Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor, is our unashamedly ambitious plan to grow the economy, to take those economic challenges head on, to get the economy growing, and to help make sure people across the UK feel better off.